Now, this is exciting. It's heading into next season. The Vancouver Canucks starting goaltender Thatcher Demko is looking poised for a breakout campaign. But not only that, we get a huge update on Canucks prospect Alexei Medvedev as he speaks out in a recent interview revealing his expectations heading into next season and how he's lining up to be a hidden gem within this Canucks system. We're going to break down exactly why all signs are pointing towards Thatcher Demko having a Vezina candidate year and exactly why fans need to be pumped up by goaltender Alexei Medvedev as we break down his quotes. We're going to break down all this and so much more later on this episode. Before we get into that, if you're part of the 57.1% watching this and you haven't hit the sub button yet, make sure to go down and hit it. It's completely free, and in return, we'll give you huge updates from all around the Canucks, from trades, rumors, reports, game breakdowns, anything you can think of, you can catch right here on Canucks Digest. Well, let's just hop straight into it today, where we know the Vancouver Canucks went in to make multiple selections in the 2025 draft, including one that confused fans a bit. Alexei Medvedev, 47th overall. We know the Canucks needed centers, taking Coots, taking Wilson Bjork, taking some centers, but going after a goaltender with their second pick did leave a couple fans confused. Now, Medvedev, in a recent interview, which will be linked all down below if you want to read through it, getting those reps in for the upcoming year with London. I just want to be ready. For me, a lot of confidence comes from participation, and if you have a good summer, you can just build off that, and the work I put in is going to help me a lot this year. Now, Medvedev coming in as one of the youngest players in this draft, especially at the goaltender position, is going to be someone that the Vancouver Canucks fans need to keep on their radar. Medvedev coming off a backup position with the London Knights as they went deep in the playoffs, winning 22 games, 8 losses and 2 ties with a .912 save percentage. Medvedev is lining up to be a goaltender for this Canucks in the next 4 to 5 years. Now, going into this, we can see reports coming from Dave Hall. Medvedev is a Memorial Cup champion and OHL first all-rookie goaltender. Won the Dinty Moore Trophy with the OHL's best goaltender, goals against average among rookie netminders, all in his first year in the OHL. It goes even further into Daniel G. With athletic and high level of hockey sense. He's explosive, plays larger than he is in net, and is one of the youngest players in the draft, born in September. 22, 8-2 this year. Medvedev is a goaltender that's going to get a big boost in the net as he's going to take over the starting role for the London Knights in the upcoming season. The still 17-year-old, who will turn 18 when the season starts, is going to be relied on quite a bit. We've seen that he wants to be prepared going into next season, and he goes as far to talk on it and say it's a big year for London, for a group. A lot of guys are leaving, obviously, and younger guys like me have to take a step up. I just want to be consistent, help my team every game. Now with Medvedev, he will end up having to help his team every game as he's set to take over the starting role for the team. 22, 8-2 is a very good record for a backup goaltender on the top team in the OHL, but going into the starters net, it's going to be a different beast for him to take on, and his development, his play over the season is going to be a big dictator on how he can take the next step of his game. Now with the Canucks, we know very much they have Thatcher Demko, who we will touch on shortly, and Kevin Lankin in between the pipes for the foreseeable future. Demko got his $8.5 million extension until 29-30, and we do see Kevin Lankin stepping in with the extension of 4.5 all the way until 2030. Now with these two contracts, it lines up perfectly. With Medvedev, with goaltenders, they usually don't break in to the league without some exceptions of some absolute superstars, but a lot of goaltenders take a while to break into the NHL. Still being 17, soon to be 18, Medvedev will be able to develop through the OHL going into Abbotsford before he breaks into the NHL. This time frame lines up perfectly for the Vancouver Canucks to figure out how far they can go with Thatcher Demko and Kevin Lankin while still having a goalie in the weeds waiting to break through on the system. But Canucks fans, what is your thoughts on Medvedev? Listen, a lot of people, including myself, seeing him drafted 47th overall, we're a little confused, but all signs are pointing towards him being a hidden gem within the system, looking like one of the best goaltenders coming out of the draft, one of the youngest guys with multiple awards under his belt already after his first season. What is your thoughts on Medvedev? How long do you think it takes to get into the Abbotsford or Canuck system? And when do you think he takes over the starting reins, or if he can, for the Vancouver Canucks? Now, with that, going straight into the goaltenders, we know Kevin Lankinen is going to be the 1B goaltender. With Thatcher Demko coming in, there's a lot of signs pointing to exactly why he is going to have his breakout campaign. Now, going into this, Noah Strang does a very good job breaking down why a revenge story is coming from Thatcher Demko. Now, go check out Noah Strang on Twitter as well. He does an awesome job covering prospects, the Canucks, anything you can think of, but he goes into detail. Gets a fully healthy season to train instead of rehab. Now, this is the biggest thing with Demko. We know last offseason, going into the season, he was rehabbing an injury, which he did get in the playoffs. Artur Shilov stepped in as the starting goaltender. The Canucks fell short against the Edmonton Oilers. But the big thing is, going into this offseason, Thatcher Demko is not rehabbing an injury, but he gets a full offseason, not worrying about an extension, as he already got that from the Canucks. But we know he gets to go in, work on his game, continue to get better in the crease, and this is lining up for a perfect season for him. Now, we'll get into the other points, but the biggest thing is we know Thatcher Demko can be a Vezina candidate. We've seen it 2 years ago, 51 games, a .918 save percentage. Thatcher was playing a lot of games. 51 of 82 is quite a bit for a goaltender, but now with Kevin Lankinen stepping in as the perfect 1B, he's going to have his workload broke down. Playing behind the best D-core the Canucks had in years is something that's very underrated by Canucks fans within this system. We know how good Quinn Hughes and Filip Hronek has been. Marcus Pettersson was acquired for a first-round pick that we got in the JT Miller trade. A full season of him and Tyler Myers is going to be very good. DPD stepped up well last year. Derek Forbort signed a 1-year. This is a defensive group that's going to be very good and solid in front of Demko. Now, the big thing is a lot of people may look and say, hey, some of these guys are getting older, but that's where there's younger pieces that can step within the system. Victor Mancini is someone that we've seen play very good with Abbotsford last year and in stints with the Canucks. We know Tom Wilner signed his ELC, is going to break into this team sooner rather than later, and Kirill Kudratsov is another name that could break in as a full-time Canuck over the next couple of seasons. This is lining up for the Canucks to not only have a very good defensive group at the moment, but for the future and the foreseeable future. There will be points where we do see Tom Wilner, Victor Mancini stepping in with this Canucks team, but in 2 to 3 years, when there's some guys getting older, Derek Forbort, Tyler Myers, this is where the young guns really step in and are able to step up for the Canucks. Now, going even further, he has a capable 1B in Lankinen. That's another underrated thing. We know he's had Casey Smith, Shilovs, all these players behind him in the crease, and some very good goaltenders. But Kevin Lankinen proved last year that he's a guy that can step up when needed and take a good load off Thatcher Demko going into the regular season, pushing into the playoffs where Demko can be fully healthy for the Canucks when they make it, and that's where the noise can be made. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on Medvedev being selected by the Canucks, 47th overall? Is he looking like a steal in your eyes? Is he someone that you're excited for? Let me know down below. And how many wins do you think Thatcher Demko gets? Is he going to be a Vezina candidate this year? Also, let me know that in the comments. And speaking on comments, let's start this back up again of comment of the day. Casket Brain says 3 Petterssons and 1 Patterson. That would be crazy. If the Canucks ran this during a game in a couple of years from now, it's going to be very hard to keep track of Pettersson to Pettersson to Pettersson to Patterson, but that is going to be fun to watch. Either way, maybe the Canucks get another Pettersson via trade or in the draft. Let me know your guys' favorite Pettersson on this group. I know a lot of people are going to say DP, but listen, Elias Pettersson's going to have a bounce back here. Let me know your thoughts on anything about the Canucks down below, and you could be featured as comments of the day. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back with another episode. So keep your eye for that. But I've been your host, Mark. Bye, and take care, Canucks fans.